Never, but never ever, put these objects on your bed, as they will start to impoverish you or, even worse, make you sick. Dear friends, today I bring you a very important lesson, one that you may have never heard before, but it can change the energy in your home and in your life. In this video, we are going to talk about 5 things that you should never put on your bed. These small actions, which you might consider harmless, can bring poverty and illness into your life without you realizing it. Have you ever felt tired, exhausted, or stuck in life without understanding why? Sometimes, the answers are not outside, but in the small habits we cultivate inside our home, especially in that sacred place that is our bed. If you stay until the end, I will share an extra tip with you, an ancient practice that we use in Buddhist monasteries to attract peace, prosperity, and health to the place where we sleep. So, join me and discover what you should not allow in your bed. I assure you that some of these points will surprise you. 1. Do not place electronic devices. In Buddhism, everything in our environment is seen as energy. Living beings, objects, thoughts. Everything vibrates at its own frequency. Electronic devices, although useful for our modern life, generate an energy that does not harmonize with nature or with the spiritual balance we seek. Every time we turn on a phone, a computer, or any other device, they emit electromagnetic waves that disrupt the natural flow of our vital energy. Imagine that your energy is like a river flowing serenely and calmly. When an electronic device is nearby, that river gets stirred, creating turbulence. That turbulence interferes with your inner peace. These devices, although seemingly harmless, carry with them a dense vibration that disturbs the balance of your body and mind. In Buddhist terms, we could say that they take you away from the state of samatha, that deep state of calm that we seek to achieve in meditation and daily life. These devices emit vibrations that interfere with your personal energy, disturb your mind, and disrupt your rest. The mind, according to Buddhist teachings, is like a mirror reflecting what is around it. If what surrounds you are elements that stir and distract, the mirror of your mind becomes cloudy, and you lose clarity. Phones and computers, with their constant notifications, lights, and invisible waves, unsettle the natural rhythm of your energy. Even when you are asleep, these waves continue to work, affecting your energy field in a subtle but constant way. Your mind needs to disconnect in order to fully restore itself during sleep, but if you have a phone next to your bed, that restoration process is incomplete. Even when it is turned off or in airplane mode, it remains a source of dense energy that does not allow your energy field to calm down. It's like trying to meditate in the middle of a noisy market. Yes, you might be able to do it, but the quality of the meditation is affected by the external chaos. Sleep is sacred. It is the moment when the body restores itself and the mind is freed. In Buddhism, sleep is not just a physical rest. It is a spiritual process. During sleep, the body repairs itself, and the mind is freed from the worries of the day. But for this liberation to occur, the environment must be conducive to peace. If the space where you sleep is filled with devices emitting disturbing energies, that restoration cannot be completed. Deep sleep is one of the few moments when our consciousness disconnects from the outside world, allowing purification of both body and mind. If you have a device near you, it's as if you are bringing the external world into your resting space. That small device, with all its invisible connections, keeps you tied to activity, to the vibration of daily life. How can your mind truly free itself if it is constantly being bombarded by these energies? If you have a phone next to you, how can your energy find peace? Here's where I want you to reflect deeply. The bed is a sacred place, a space of refuge and renewal. When you allow a phone or computer to enter that space, you also invite restlessness, stress, and the worries of the day. Ancient Buddhist texts talk about the importance of simplicity in the environment where we rest. The clearer and more peaceful it is, the easier it is for the soul to rejuvenate. The phone, although we don't see it this way, is an extension of the outside world, of obligations, of distractions. And if we bring it to bed, we are mixing the energy of the world of action with the world of rest. This mix confuses our body and mind. Instead of being a space of peace, the bed becomes a place where the mind remains active, even when the body seems to be resting. Have you ever woken up feeling more tired than when you fell asleep? Perhaps it's because of this. I want you to think about your recent experiences. Has it happened to you that you wake up in the morning feeling exhausted, as if you haven't rested enough? Maybe even, upon opening your eyes, the first thing you do is check your phone, immediately connecting with the outside world. This creates a cycle where you never fully disconnect, and the exhaustion builds up. This is not just a physical issue. In Buddhism, we understand that all physical discomfort has a spiritual component. Lack of rest not only affects your body but clouds your mind and, in the long term, affects your spiritual energy. Interrupted or restless sleep weakens your ability to concentrate, your mental clarity, and your connection to inner peace. And this, friends, is not just a matter of tiredness but of well-being in all aspects of life. So, what can you do? As night falls, try leaving your phone outside your bedroom. Create a space of serenity around your bed, one where only calm reigns. Experiment with this and observe how your energy, your health, and your rest change. If you have already noticed that your sleep is not what it used to be, I invite you to leave your experiences in the comments. Have you felt the influence of these devices on your rest? 2. Don't wear used or dirty clothes. In many Buddhist traditions, clothing is not just a physical layer. It reflects the energy we absorb throughout the day. With every step we take, in every interaction, our clothing becomes a container of energies. The energy of the people we talk to, the stress of the environment, even the atmosphere of the places we've been. Everything is imbued in our garments, as they are in constant contact with our bodies and the outside world. When we get home after a busy day, the first reaction might be to sit on the bed to rest for a moment. But what we might not consider is that the clothes we're wearing have absorbed all that external energy. Imagine for a moment, all the stress of the day, the anxiety you felt during a difficult conversation, the pressure from traffic or work, all of that clings to your clothing. And if you decide to leave those clothes on your bed, what do you think happens? The energy of your rest becomes contaminated. Your bed is a sacred place, a refuge where you should find peace, restoration, and balance. If you leave that clothing loaded with the day's vibrations on it, you're somehow bringing the worries from the outside into your resting space. The energy of the street, of other people, of the places you pass through, everything mixes with the energy of your most intimate space. And when you lie down, unknowingly, you wrap yourself in those vibrations, affecting your rest and weakening your spirit. Think of those times when you get home after a particularly heavy day. You don't just feel physically exhausted, you also feel emotionally drained. That fatigue isn't just from physical or mental effort, but from the external energies you've absorbed. If you lie down surrounded by that energy, it's like you're sleeping amidst the chaos of the day, without allowing your mind and body to fully disconnect. It's important to shed those energies when you get into bed. That's why, in many Buddhist practices, it's suggested to change clothes upon arriving home, not just for comfort but as an act of energetic purification. By changing, you symbolically release the burdens of the day, preparing your body and mind for a deeper, more restorative rest. This simple act helps keep your resting space clean, not just physically but energetically. Perhaps you've never realized the importance of this, but I want to invite you to reflect. How do you feel after a heavy day? Have you noticed how the energy seems to stick with you even after you get home? Share your experiences in the comments. Many of you may have felt this burden without knowing exactly where it came from. Remember, the bed is a sanctuary for your soul. Keep this space free from the energies that exhaust you, and gradually, you'll notice how your rest becomes more restorative, how your mind clears, and how your spirit finds the calm it so desperately needs. 3. Don't place broken or old objects. Objects that are damaged or in poor condition carry stagnant energies with them. From a Buddhist perspective, everything around us is charged with energy and symbolism. When something is broken, we don't just see a material imperfection. We also see a reflection of an imbalance in our lives. Buddhism teaches us that the environment we inhabit is a mirror of our mental state. Therefore, if you have something damaged on your bed or even near it, that broken energy may be directly affecting your well-being. Let's consider the nature of objects. Everything we own, especially what's in our most intimate space, has a vibration. Broken, worn, or poorly maintained objects emit a dense vibration that doesn't flow correctly. It's energy that has become trapped, stagnant, creating an atmosphere of chaos or disorder around us. This energy interferes with our rest, with our inner peace. You may not see it at first glance, but your subconscious perceives it. Buddhism teaches us that everything in our environment reflects our mind and circumstances. If we surround ourselves with damaged or poorly maintained objects, it's as if we're telling our minds that we are in a space of disharmony, lack, or even abandonment. A broken object on your bed or nearby can symbolize a deeper rupture in your life. Perhaps it's something you've ignored or minimized, but that energy is there, interfering with your balance. In meditation, we seek to purify the mind, clearing away everything that no longer serves us and that prevents us from achieving clarity. Similarly, it's essential to purify the environment where we rest. If there's something broken on your bed, it may symbolize a break in your own well-being. Think about it for a moment. If your bed, that sacred resting place, is surrounded by objects that no longer serve their function, how can your spirit find peace? It's as if a part of you is also broken or incomplete. You may have noticed that your sleep isn't as deep, that you wake up not feeling completely renewed. These little details may influence you more than you imagine. Do you have something broken near you while you sleep? I invite you to take a small inventory of your space. Look around. Is there anything that is damaged, broken, or simply should no longer be there? If so, consider removing it, replacing it, or repairing it. This simple act can have a deeper impact on your energy than you think. When we clear our environment of objects that no longer serve us, we allow energy to flow freely, creating a more conducive atmosphere for peace and well-being. Try it and let us know your experience. Don't just take it as theoretical advice. Give it a try. Clean your resting space, remove what is broken or stagnant, and observe how you feel in the following days. You may notice that you sleep more deeply, that you wake up with more energy, or that you simply feel greater mental clarity. Every small change in our environment impacts our internal energy. Share in the comments if you've had any experience with broken objects in your resting space. Have you noticed any difference when you get rid of them? Or if you decide to try this advice, let us know how you feel afterward. Your space is a reflection of you, and when you harmonize it, you also harmonize your mind and spirit. 4. Don't place books or pending work. The bed is not a place for work or worries. In Buddhist practice, there is a very clear distinction between resting spaces and action spaces. There's an old teaching that says, "What you take to bed, you take to your dreams." This phrase, though simple, holds a great truth about how the burdens we accumulate throughout the day can seep into our rest and profoundly affect our energy. When you lie down with your mind filled with thoughts about work, unfinished tasks, or problems to solve, you're allowing those worries to invade your sacred resting space. The bed should be a refuge, a place where the mind and body find peace. But when you carry the tensions of the day with you, that energy doesn't just disappear. It infiltrates your dreams, and although you may not always be aware of it, your rest is affected. If you bring unfinished tasks or work problems with you, you are inviting those worries into your space of rest. It's important to remember that rest is an essential aspect of life. It's not just a physical pause, but a moment of deep renewal for the body and mind. Sleep gives us the opportunity to release accumulated tensions and restore our balance, both physically and spiritually. However, when you bring your pending issues, worries, and anxieties to bed, your body cannot relax completely, and your mind cannot free itself from its bindings. And if there is no deep rest, your vital energy becomes depleted. Over time, this not only affects your emotional well-being, but also your physical health. A mind that does not rest is a mind that weakens. The body, in turn, begins to suffer the effects of accumulated stress. In Buddhism, we know that an imbalance of the mind and body can lead to illness. An unsettled mind and disturbed rest are signs that something in your life is not in harmony. But this is not just a matter of physical health. When we fail to achieve adequate rest, our vital energy diminishes, and that also reflects on your prosperity. If your mind is constantly occupied with worries, solving problems, and anticipating future challenges, you leave no room for clarity, new ideas, or abundance. You become like a full glass that cannot receive anything more. Your energy fragments, and without realizing it, you start attracting more difficulties and fewer opportunities. Have you ever woken up thinking about all the things you need to do? Many people experience this. They get up feeling exhausted, as if they haven't slept enough, with their minds already racing through task lists. This is a symptom that worries have invaded your rest. When the space of the bed becomes an extension of your workspace, It's inevitable that these tensions seep into your sleep. I invite you to reflect. What are you bringing to bed with you? Are they thoughts of peace, gratitude, and renewal? Or are they problems, unfinished tasks, and responsibilities? If you've ever woken up already tired, with your mind overwhelmed, I encourage you to observe your habits before sleeping. Tell me in the comments, have you noticed how your worries affect your rest? Try, for one night, to leave your pending tasks outside your room, create a disconnection ritual before sleeping, and see how your energy changes the next day. 5. Don't put food in your bed. The bed is a place for rest, not for eating. In Buddhism, we recognize that every space in our environment has a specific energy and purpose. When we start to mix those purposes, we create an imbalance that affects both our physical and spiritual well-being. Eating in bed is a clear example of this disharmony. When you bring food into your rest space, you are not only introducing an act that doesn't belong in that place, but you are also creating impurities. The act of eating, which should be reserved for the kitchen or dining room, brings with it heavy energies, both physical and energetic. Eating in bed disrupts the energy of that space. The bed is a place of peace and restoration. It is where your body and mind regenerate after a long day. When you introduce something like food, an element that belongs in a completely different environment, you create energetic friction. This friction generates impurities, not just on a physical level, crumbs, mess, leftovers, but also on a subtle level. These impurities can attract negative vibrations, dense energies that you do not want in your rest environment. Eating in bed creates impurities and attracts things we don't want in our space. Furthermore, in many Buddhist teachings, it is believed that the acts we perform right before sleeping directly influence the quality of our dreams. Eating in bed, especially heavy meals or outside of normal hours, can cause physical discomfort that translates into heaviness during sleep. This discomfort affects the mind and can lead to restless or even nightmarish dreams. Have you ever gone to sleep after eating something in bed and woke up feeling uncomfortable, as if you hadn't rested at all? In Buddhism, we believe that every place has its purpose, and mixing purposes generates disharmony. Every act in our life has its time and place. By keeping those spaces pure and dedicated to their purpose, such as the bed for rest and the kitchen for eating, we help energy flow correctly. Otherwise, we create subtle chaos that affects our well-being. That's why discipline and respect for spaces are so important in our daily lives. Eating in bed often brings heaviness and bad dreams. Buddhism teaches us to be aware of the energies we bring into every aspect of our life. Food has its own energetic weight, and when that energy mixes with the rest space, the result can be disharmony in the body and mind. This not only affects sleep, but also impacts our ability to wake up renewed and clear. If you've ever done this, how did you feel upon waking? I invite you to reflect on this practice. If you've ever eaten in bed, you may have already noticed that it's not the most suitable place for it. How was your rest that night? Did you have peaceful or disturbing dreams? If this has happened to you, it would be interesting to share your experience in the comments so others can reflect and learn as well. Reflect on this and share if it has happened to you. Sometimes, small changes in our habits, such as respecting the purpose of each space, can bring great benefits to our daily energy. Keep your bed as a sacred place for rest, and observe how this positively impacts your overall well-being. Friends, the bed is a temple for rest and healing. What you put in it influences your energy, your health, and ultimately your life. Sometimes, the path to peace and prosperity is simpler than we think. It's the small daily habits that connect us with universal energy. As I promised at the beginning, here's an extra tip. In monasteries, at the end of the day, we always recite a small prayer or mantra before sleeping. This purifies the energy of our body and our space. Today I invite you to close your eyes before going to bed and repeat these words. May my body and mind rest in peace. May my sleep be deep and rejuvenating. Feel how your heart calms down. If you decide to apply any of these tips, I would love for you to share it in the comments. The community is a place where we all learn and grow together. Now, just as there are items we shouldn't place in our bed, there are also others we should never put in our bathroom.